So today I was thinking I'm going to talk about flight delays. My best friend has one of those jobs that requires her to travel a lot. Like a lot. And unfortunately, when you travel a certain amount, it just becomes a natural side effect or an expected side effect that you're going to encounter a lot of flight delays. And last night was actually one of them for her. She was trying to get home and from one part of the country, and what should have been just a brief jaunt of flights ended up taking her hours, and she didn't end up getting home until well after midnight. And the reason that I was thinking about that is because earlier in the evening I was talking to someone else and realized that there is a theme within the Christian community. I think it's out there everywhere, really. In fact, I know it's out there everywhere. But I'm just specifically going to address those that are dealing with this within the Christian community. People that feel like their lives have been on a perpetual flight delay. They had dreams, goals, visions, expectations, plans of where things were going to go, where they were going to be, that famous question that we're asked at interviews. So, where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years? And so because our society and culture has really placed on us, even at a small age, look at kids that are so little that are already being prepped for college, really, with the things that they're being taught and shown. But we have these plans that we make, that we set into motion. And if things get delayed or they go off course, either because maybe we were faced with a choice, maybe we were faced with a decision, and the decision seemed like an easy choice, seemed like an easy one, seemed like we knew exactly which way to go, so we took that one. Or maybe it was a situation where you were suddenly faced with a choice. What do? I don't know. I'm just going to pick A. And down the road, you kind of wonder if you should have picked B because you're in a flight delay. I just want to tell you that, number one, like I said yesterday, you have to cut yourself some slack. God knows all of the things that you're facing and going through. But today I want to focus more on God actually has a plan within those delays. In the book of Exodus, excuse me, in the book of Exodus, I believe it's chapter 23, and I believe it's starting in 29, 23, 29, and I think 30 or 29 through 31. At any rate, there is a set of verses that God is talking to the Israelites. And, they've been out in the wilderness for so long, and God's given them favor, and they've been able to wipe out their enemies, and they've been able to do all these amazing things that, such a band of people shouldn't, quote unquote, shouldn't be able to conquer. But in these two verses, he says that the reason why he didn't give them the land of of these people at that time, sorry, I'm drawing a blank as I'm driving, the reason that he didn't give them the land was because they weren't ready to receive the land. Their population numbers hadn't grown enough to be able to maintain it. The land would have become overgrown. The animals, the wild animals that were there, would have become out of control and then become a threat and a danger to them. They simply, as a people, weren't ready for what was required to conquer the land and move forward. God knew that. They didn't know that. They're frustrated because, well, why isn't this happening? Why haven't we been given the land? Well, God knew, and he had it under control. And even though they may have been second guessing themselves at a point, even, should we have done this differently? Should we have done that differently? He knew exactly why they were in a flight delay. So even when we are in these situations and it seems like we've missed it, we've dropped it, we've chosen A instead of B, again, God has your back. He has all of those things under control, and he knows exactly what you need, when you need it, and it's okay. Stop second guessing yourself and trust his sovereignty. I don't care if the decision was one that you made because you were thinking you had all of your ducks in a row and you knew exactly what to do and this was the path to success. Stop. Just stop. Stop beating yourself up. Stop being angry at God because why didn't he step in and allow A to happen? Or why didn't he step in and make you choose B? Stop. He is the ultimate dad. And that's another thing. Maybe you've had a bad relationship with your earthly dad. Maybe you've had no relationship with your earthly dad. Maybe you don't even know who your earthly dad is. All of that doesn't really matter in this plan that God has, because he has stepped in as your dad. And let me tell you something, he is a better dad than your earthly dad could have ever been. So if that's one of the hang-ups that you're stuck with, of understanding that he's got your back, of understanding that he loves you and he has a plan for you, because how could he? After all, my earthly dad was so bad. How could a heavenly dad be any better? Or sure, I've got a heavenly dad. Sure. Let me tell you something. You do. And he loves you. And he cares about you. And he has a plan for you. While your mother was still pregnant with you, he was already planning victories for your life. Sometimes little ones, sometimes big ones. But he was planning them. He has great expectations for you. And he had every moment of your life in the palm of his hand while your mom was carrying you. And she was only thinking about 9 months. And in 9 months, she would be able to hold you. And he was thinking about you for maybe 70, 80, 90 plus years. And that he would be carrying you. He loves you so much. Trust him. Trust that he has your back. Trust that he has a plan for you. Trust that he loves you. And any flight delays that you may be encountering, there may be a reason why he hasn't been able to give you that thing that you've been heading towards and yearning for. It may not be a no. It may just be a hang on, it's coming. Be encouraged, guys. I love you and talk to you soon.